Greetings. Welcome back. This is Queen Elle of QueenElle79. I'm so glad that you've joined me again today. This video, as the subject states, is an unboxing of the Miss CLEO'S tarot deck. So let me hold it up so you can see. Okay, so I've heard so many great things about this deck, and to be honest, I am just a child of the 80s and 90s, and I was a bit hesitant about getting this deck. I was curious in researching tarot decks several months ago, and stumbled upon this deck, and I saw that it had great reviews, but I was like, I don't know. I was just thinking about my recollection of Miss Cleo from back in the day. Just thinking about the controversy around Miss Cleo. If you're not familiar with Miss Cleo, she was became more universally recognized as a psychic on TV. So back in the 80s and 90s, mainly before there was social media, before there was any prevalence of the internet. It existed, but just in parts, and it started out just for research purposes only. There wasn't much of a media presence online. There wasn't much of a celebrity presence online. So psychics had these 900 lines. So you would see an advertisement on TV, and it would encourage you or entice you. And I know there are still some that come on typically in the later hours, but you'd see on your screen an ad for you to call this number to get a psychic reading over the phone. And Miss Cleo was one of those telephone psychics. Well, I didn't know her actual background in the spiritual community until very recently. But what ended up happening is there was some type of lawsuit, and again, I was younger then, but I remember there being some type of backlash and a lawsuit because Miss Cleo used a what in my childlike recollection, it was seemingly a Caribbean accent. And so that's what she used on her ads. And she would say, I'm not going to mimic her because I don't believe in making fun of people, specifically the dead. Now, but she would say this little catch line, call me now. And it had that strong accent. And it was enticing to a lot of people. Well, anyway, there was this lawsuit, and all I remember is that, it was like a big reveal that she was from a city in California, and that she wasn't who she said she was and all of that. Well, in recent years, I have heard that she actually did have a strong presence in the spiritual community, and she did actually have some clairvoyant and spiritual psychic powers, if you will. So I won't really dive all into that, but that's just a bit of background. So anyway, I had this skepticism about this deck. I was like, okay, this is catchy. Is someone trying to exploit her? Because I do know that she has passed on to the ancestral realm. I was thinking, okay, is this like some type of gimmick? But I would read the reviews, and people would talk about how they felt a connection to the deck. And then I've seen some YouTube videos since then where people would mention the deck. I've seen images of the cards virtually. And finally, I thought, you know what? Because I believe in just waiting and kind of sitting on something. I actually have a Virgo rising sign. And I was thinking, okay, let me just sit on this and ponder this and not just act rash and just jump on some bandwagon and get a deck just because I see that other people are raving about it. That's just not me anyway. I'm not a follower like that. But I thought, okay, let me just wait and see. And if it, if I feel so inclined at some point, then great, I'll get it. If not, then I won't. No harm, no foul. So I did feel compelled to get it. And I did. I ordered this from Amazon. It was very, very inexpensive. And so this time I decided to, rather than my other unboxing videos for the Universal Rider-Waite Tarot deck as well as the Modern Witch Tarot deck, if you haven't seen those videos, feel free to check those out. But for this one, I thought I'm going to do a true unboxing, and this will be my first time viewing these cards in person, and I thought that I would record myself doing so. So let's jump right in. So anyway, this deck, it says Miss Cleo's Tarot Power Deck. And you see the image of Miss Cleo there. And it's my favorite color, purple, color of royalty. So I love that. It looks like a standard deck. I like that the cards, so I have kind of short, stumpy, stubby fingers, if you will. But so the deck is kind of small, which I like, so I can grab onto the cards. Still kind of big for me, but probably small for everybody else. So the back reads, Miss Cleo's Tarot Power Deck. This deck contains 78 cards influenced by tarot shaman Miss Cleo, with 22 major arcana and 56 minor arcana. These cards will enable those who master them to embark on a journey of self-discovery while glimpsing into the future. Now, with the mention of the 22 major arcana and 56 minor arcana cards, that's a standard tarot deck. So, so it's, I liken it to the other decks that I have. So if you haven't watched my video that goes into a description of the breakdown of the standard 78 card deck and breaking down what is the difference between the major and minor arcana cards, please feel free to watch that. And I think it'll be popping up there. So yeah, so this says copyright 2001, Radar Communications Incorporated, designed and created by J.F. Lambert and Seth Stevens. I'm not sure who they are, and to be honest, I may do a little research to find out who they are. As a matter of fact, you know what? I'm doing all of this live. I have my phone, so let's take a little look. I'm curious. Let's see. J.F. Lambert and Seth Stevens. Let's just see. Why don't we? I want to see who these people are. There's a storm in my area, so of course my signal is low. So let's just see. While that is taking its time to load on my phone, we'll go and jump right in and get this open up. Okay, the packaging is really standard. Oh, okay, so this popped up. Let's take a look. Okay, on eclectic.net, which is a great resource for the tarot community and other divinatory methods. It says the artwork is ancient Egyptian themed, and that's the artwork of this deck, and has random changes to standard tarot symbolism. Okay. I don't really. Okay, I found a website that mentions those two, Lambert and Stevens, on a website called librarything.com. I just want to, let's see. I don't really have much information about them. I can't find much information about them. To be honest, just like the name Seth, just kind of, I just find it interesting, just thinking of who these individuals are, and I'm always curious about the history of things, why they were felt so compelled to create this deck. Was anyone authorized? Who gave the authorization? I would assume to use Miss Cleo's likeness. Um, who was inspired to do this and why, and the connection there. So that's just something I'm definitely curious about, and I will probably look into on my own, just to get a bit more background. So anyway, it opens like this. Okay, we have the booklet here, pretty standard. There's Miss Cleo again, tarot card legend. I'm just gonna kind of peruse it. There's a message. So it's a message that's signed Miss Cleo. And she says, Wagwan, sweet pea. Enclosed, you'll find the introductory tools you need to begin exploring the ancient tarot. You all know that I believe we all have the gift to hear and listen to spirits. My personal objective is to introduce you to the tarot, aid you in becoming familiar with cards and their meanings, and encourage you to learn more. What we have put together here is an easy step-by-step guide tarot kit that will allow you to begin your own personal journey. The cards are vibrant and colorful based on Egyptian symbols. The tarot key is concise and easy to understand, and the videotape allows you to learn and participate while you watch. The tarot is not something that can be taken lightly. You've heard me say 1,000 times, the cards dim never lie. It never ceases to amaze, my dears. Open up your heart and your mind and receive the power of the tarot. Easy journey, babies. Miss Cleo. That's interesting. You see they have like a little signature from Miss Cleo. Okay, so it gives a bit of a brief history of tarot, and then it just kind of, as standard for tarot decks and their accompanying booklets, it just goes into a description of what all of the cards mean. So it mentioned in that message from Miss Cleo, it mentioned a video. I'm not sure. Maybe the tarot cards originally, maybe this deck originally had a video that accompanied it. I'm not sure, but there is no video. And I didn't see mention of one online when I was purchasing the cards either. So there's nothing missing here. So here are the cards. They actually look like a deck of playing cards on the back. That's my first observation. It looks pretty straightforward here. Nothing really stands out. I do see, it looks like little images of all of the suits of the minor arcana. So we have the wands, pentacles, swords, and cups. And so it looks like little images representing each of those. But again, and this is the Fool, which we know is the first card of the major arcana. And that's when we start the Fool's journey that I mentioned in my Tarot 101 video. So this is the first card. But yes, it looks pretty standard. So let's see if I can, how easy it'll be for me to get these open. Let's see. Okay. Really excited about diving into this deck. Okay. Oh, it's plastic. I hate plastic. Okay. So we have the Fool. Now this is interesting. Let me just pick this one up. This is interesting because typically we see the Fool in most decks. I would say the Universal Rider-Waite deck, my Modern Witch Tarot deck, you usually see an image of somebody whoever's representing the Fool stepping out facing the cliff that they're walking, just about to tip over on. And they may be kind of looking off in the distance or, not paying attention. But this is the first time I've seen an image of someone backing over the cliff. So I find that interesting. And there is usually a dog there, but the dog is just kind of doing the same thing as the person that's in the image. So I find that interesting. It looks like this image, the Fool, is kind of preoccupied, not so much in their own world, but just preoccupied with the situation that's right in front of them and to their own demise. So I find that one interesting. Let's just take a look at a few more. Here's the Magician. And I find this one interesting. There's a lot of the same sense of symbolism, but the imagery, I would say so far at first glance, is very bright, very vivid with the color selection. I would say that the illustrations look a bit dated, but I like them so far. I definitely want to meditate with the cards and just see what I think just upon like further meditation of each of the cards. But at first glance, I think that they look okay. So this is the Empress, and it's pretty standard as far as the Empress sitting in her chair and holding a staff and just looking very regal. I would say that I don't believe I've seen the Empress holding a snake before, so that's something that's new to me. The headdress is pretty standard. Yeah, so it's very interesting. Again, the one thing that I would say that's kind of nagging at me is just the images look very dated, but not dated in the sense of like the Rider-Waite tarot deck. I feel like those images look dated, but in this sense, to me, they don't even look very realistic. So just my own personal observation. Let's go to some of the minor Arcana cards. Oh, this one is interesting. The World card. Being a person is very interesting, and I feel like just looking at these cards, maybe for some of them, it will be necessary to really, you should let your intuition guide you with tarot anyway, but some of these cards, I feel it will really be necessary to truly let the spirit guides speak to you, versus sometimes we look at the cards to glean, or at least I look at the cards sometimes to glean whatever message I feel the card is giving to me or sending to me in the moment. And I feel like for some of these cards, I will have to really go inward more and tap into self and my own intuition with regard to the message that the cards are giving to me. So let's see. Here's another interesting one. The Five of Cups. Now this one, it typically has an image of, and I'm sorry, my AC just kicked on if you hear anything in the background. So the Five of Cups typically has a person that is looking like they're mourning and they're very downtrodden and very solemn and typically looking downward. The image is usually standing though, and there are usually those three cups that they're seeing of something spilled, kind of like crying over spilled milk. And then the two cups that are still full are usually behind them. So this is interesting, just an interesting take on that message. And then let me go to the back. So at the end, okay, we have these two extra cards. So this one says, Miss Cleo's tarot reading as seen on TV, which I did growing up, or just as a young child. So it says experience the power of a real tarot shaman from a true shaman. There is no substitute. There's a phone number and a website for Miss Cleo. It says MissCleo.com. I'm not sure who you would be speaking with over the phone though. So they're actually two different phone numbers. So I'm not sure what that's about. There's that one. And then this one says need help. Experienced tarot readers are only a phone call away. And there are two different numbers depending on whether you're in the US or in Canada. And then there's the website that it mentions, MissCleo.com. So there's that. Very interesting. So overall, I will tell you that in upcoming videos, you may see me. It just depends on what I feel compelled to do. You may see, once I have meditated over the whole deck, you may see me use some of the cards from this deck in addition to one of my other decks, or you may see me just use this deck exclusively on certain videos. Just depends on what I feel called to do. So that's it. So let me know if you have any questions or any comments or any feedback regarding this deck, and I would love to answer them and to commune with you. So that has been my unboxing, my first review and my initial assessment of Miss Cleo's Tarot Power Deck. Thank you so much for joining me today. This has been Queen Elle. If you have any questions or if you need any of my services, I do provide tarot reading services as well as astrological chart analysis on Facebook, and that's QueenElle79, just like my YouTube channel. If you would like to view any of my posts that I have, my Instagram is queen_Elle_79. Feel free to check me out there. Thank you so much for joining me today. Ashe. Bye.